Hey, what's up guys, it's Mars here, and welcome back to Dark Souls. So this is episode 3, and it'll be a little bit more technical for you guys who are getting interested in the game. And here's a surprise for you. So for those of you who don't expect it, don't read it, there is a dragon there, and there is a way to kind of avoid that if you're smart enough, but I wanted to show kind of the rookie mistake there, and you can die. The cool thing is, though, that dragon, which you remember we saw earlier, just like a really big drake, he is there now, or she, and the cool thing about that is it gave me XP for the kind of undead it killed. Here's a ladder. A lot of these you open up shortcuts, and this is exactly what it is. If you guys remember this room, which I spent a lot of time in the previous episode, that bonfire, I never went up the stairs. I just wanted to show you kind of where this led to. So you can't go up there, but there was a ladder there. I was able to kick it down, and now I can use this as a shortcut to get back here. And I just fought a couple enemies to show you guys where it was exactly, in case you weren't familiar with it. So this is kind of the area. Now I can get back there really easily without kind of traversing through the area with the boss and all that stuff to get to that bridge. I'm just able to go up the ladder, and boom, that bridge is there. So that's what I really like about Dark Souls, how there are shortcuts. And even if you guys play Skyrim or whatever kind of games like that, there are some cool little shortcuts at the end of dungeons, so you could get back to the start without having to travel through all of it. And I like when games do that. I think it's a really cool thing for the game. Like, I don't know, I think it's really cool. It saves the player time, so you don't have to do all this backtracking, which you've killed all the foes, so you're probably just like backtracking into nothingness, and it's boring. The reason I go back up here, there's not really anything I want to do here, but as you see, I get 555 souls every time. It kills about 4 guys, I think. So it's really like a quick way to farm souls in the beginning, and all you got to do is kind of go back down there, refresh the bonfire, go back up, and you do that a couple times, and I mean, you have 1,000 souls right off the bat. 1,000 souls isn't anything later in the game, but because I wanted to do a little bit of leveling up this time around to talk to you guys about it, I figured I would get a few souls so I can get a few levels, and you can show kind of the different things the leveling up actually does. So that was kind of my idea behind it. Now, you see at the end there where the dragon is, there is a gate, and you can get past the dragon with a little bit of patience and a little bit of trial and error, but it does kind of, like I said, it does take some trial and error. So it's all about time and being kind of slow and patient with it, and you're able to get through there. There's not much except for a covenant to join, which isn't super important. But depending how you play and how you want to play, then I guess you should probably go there. I will show that later on. Right now, I'm just not comfortable with the protection I have on me, with the armor and stuff, to go through there, because you can risk dying. So here I am kind of looking at the levels, and I'm going to slow it down and zoom a little bit in a second here so you guys can see exactly my mentality. I'm just showing you what everything does. Now, with this weapon that I'm using, you'll see here in a second. Look at the param bonus. There is an E next to the muscled arm and a B next to the hand. That's strength and dexterity. So the dexterity is B, which means it will level better than the strength. So as I level up my dexterity, my weapon is going to become better. If it was a weapon with strength, that would be B. I would have to level up strength for my weapon to become better, or my bonus with the weapon. So you'll see here I put a little bit of dexterity, and it's actually going to make my weapon stronger, or so it will seem like it makes my weapon stronger. And that's how scaling works in this game. So I put a couple points in dexterity, and you see that right weapon, it went from 67 to 77. Now, I'm not going to go all the way dexterity because I do realize that I'm a little bit low on vitality, and I want some endurance to get more equip load. And you'll see how the equip load screws me up later on in the video. So I just go with a little bit of dexterity to make myself a little stronger. And then I want to get some health, and some endurance as well. So the idea behind this character is I think I'm going to stick with this kind of thief build to it. So I'm going to go for some daggers. There was a really cool shot of the dagger there, actually. And you can see here it does some extra damage. One thing about strength is you can wield like really crazy weapons if you have the right amount of strength. And we'll probably see that later on. But I probably won't play too much with it in this playthrough because it's not the type of character I want to do. I've already done a strength build. Oh, excuse me. I've already done a strength build, and I've already done a sorcery build, which was pretty cool. That you have to focus on intelligence if you want really, really good sorcery. So it's really kind of neat. And then I focused on a half and half. So I think for this one, I'm going to go dexterity, as long as the weapons I carry will permit me to kind of raise my dexterity to get better and stronger. So we'll see there. Now I do something which I probably should have done before I used all the souls, but I figured I'd go ahead and do it right now. I'm going to get a bow. The reason being is because there's something coming up in a second. Well, in a minute, I should say. That requires me to use a bow. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm going to buy this resonance key because I need it. And then I realized the bow is 1,000. So I don't have quite enough for that. So what I'm going to do is use some of those souls I've collected throughout the playthrough thus far and get some extra souls so I can actually purchase the bow and some arrows. I go overboard with the arrows. But the cool thing here, when I do buy the bow, that scales with dexterity at an A rating. So I think I might actually try my hand at the bow for you guys. I've never really used bows at all in this. There are bows and crossbows, both of them, and different different types. There are light crossbows, heavy crossbows, short bow, long bow, then some specialty bows. But anyways, I just need to kind of gather enough souls to buy that and some arrows, and then I'll be fine, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with those. I could have sped this up, but I just wanted you guys to see. It's giving me 200 apiece. Then I knew there was a guy here, so I figured I'd go get a few more souls by killing this guy. And since I'm not on a bonfire, I didn't want to backtrack and kind of do all this. So that's kind of the mentality there anyways. I am definitely going to buy the bottomless box eventually to get rid of some stuff because that's how it works. It's just like a storage device. I could have gone with the large arrows, but I didn't see the 15 extra damage for the cost of souls. I just figured I'd go with a whole bunch of the smaller arrows. And here you go. I'll check out the short bow real quick. You can see the D was strength and the A was scaling with dexterity. So that I think that'll become useful if I put my dexterity up a whole lot. So with my one soul, I'm just going to make my way back. I always like filling up at a bonfire instead of using an Estus flask. So you'll see me kind of stop by here, even though I didn't really need to like reset everyone. It's always nice to kind of do that. And I'll move on to the next area, and you guys will get to see kind of what's going on after I do this little quest thing to get a weapon. What's going on here, what I'm going to do after I kill this first enemy coming up. You can see that's the Drake, and he's on the top of a building above the bridge. And you can see his little tail was kind of dangling there. What you can do in this game, which is kind of cool, is most dragon enemies in the game, if you cut off their tails, you actually get a weapon. A special tail weapon that you can only get through cutting off their tails. There's a few gargoyles actually, which you're able to do that with as well. So that's something to keep in mind. But dragon tails, you want to cut those off if you can. There's a few big bosses that have them, and then some kind of more or less minor, like this Drake. I wouldn't consider him like a big boss or anything. He's actually optional, completely optional. Well, so are a lot of bosses in this game, but this is what I do here. This takes about 2 to 3 minutes, depending how strong you are or whatnot. I'm just going to line up my shot because I wasn't used to this. I've only done this in my first playthrough, in my strength playthrough. But what I'm going to do is get a pretty good weapon for starting the game. Yeah, I get a couple whiffs, but then I get my aim on. So this is going to take a couple minutes. What I did was I actually sped up the video at 400%, and it still seems to take pretty long at 400%. So yeah, be ready to just kind of sit back and get some of these. I was double shooting there. I don't know what happened, but I think I just double tapped the button or something. But an arrow is definitely useful for this. If you're really lucky, you can do it with some sorcery, but it's so hard to aim. I don't think, like, I think this is the best method for sure. So here goes a little bit sped up. And the weapon it gives you is the Drake Sword, hence the fact that this is a Drake. And that weapon is really good. You'll see the difference between the dagger that I have now and the Drake Sword. But the bad thing is there's no scaling on the Drake Sword, so though it may stay a really powerful weapon for a little while, because you can't really scale it with any of your stats, it becomes kind of less and less good the further you get in the game. You're able to upgrade those, much like your weapons and everything, which I'll get into detail another time. But yeah, you're able to upgrade the Drake Sword with dragon skills, which are an item that are kind of rare. But even at that, maximizing the Drake Sword, it won't give you a really great weapon. So that's what's going on. I was just showing to you the difference. Now I need 16 strength to wield this. If you saw in the param requirements, I need 16 strength to wield it, and that's what I was talking about. A lot of the big weapons like that, though it's not a huge weapon, but a lot of the weapons like that definitely require some strength. Now I tried my hand at dual wielding, because sometimes when you don't have enough strength, if you dual wield something, you're able to use it, but you saw how slow that swipe was, so I knew I didn't have enough strength to use it right away. And because of that, it will cost me a bit later on. You'll see what happens. I'll explain it to you when we get there. But for now, just kind of enjoy the landscape. These guys are tough. Rats will poison you so quickly, and the way to deal with it, even through the shield, look at how much poison was built up there. If you get a direct hit, you'll be a quarter poison. So it's kind of risky to go against a big pack of rats, because they will they will screw you up. So the best thing to do is, right there I found, was to just kick them off, and that's kind of the strategy I try to employ there. Not let both of them pass that little corner, and just kick them off one at a time. It usually works quite well. Now there's a way right here on the left, and there's a way through this gate. The reason I didn't go on the left, because there was another one of those Black Knights, which are pretty tough, so I didn't want to deal with them right now. What I'll do is later on in the playthrough, I'll go kind of get them when I feel ready, good enough to defeat them. Now this is the area I was talking about. When you get through where the Drake is, you can get to this area and you can open up a shortcut, and there's a bonfire right there. So it might be a good idea, if you aren't necessarily comfortable, if you can get past the Drake, to get that bonfire, and then you can tackle this area. And it's a little bit closer than the other one. You don't have to go through all the enemies like the rats and stuff. But apart from that, it's not too much of a big deal. Now you see me kiting this guy. The reason being, there's kind of a trick here. I'm not going to use it just because I'm going to play through as if somebody doesn't necessarily know the trick as much as possible where I see fit. But you can see there's a big boar, and there is an enemy behind him and an enemy kind of beside him. There's two guys on the little bridge up ahead. And what I want to do is get close enough. So you see that enemy turned around, and he's running back. And what he's going to do is actually close a gate so you can't get through. Now, if I would have been a little bit gutsier and better, I would have ran through, and you can actually get through the gate before he closes it. And that allows it to stay open. And it's another shortcut, more or less, that you're able to take. But if you're not fast enough, it closes it, and then you have to go around. And it's not too much of a big deal. It's not too far. And the game does kind of force you to go around for the first time, because you don't necessarily know that trick. It took me 2 or 3 playthroughs to actually realize that. Not complete playthroughs, just like minor, starting the game off with different characters to see what I like. But then again, the game doesn't really holds your hand doesn't tell you, well, if you're quick enough, you know, you can make it through the gate and you don't have to deal with all this stuff coming up. And that's what I really like about the game. There's some mystery there and kind of stuff you have to figure out on your own. Now, these boars are tough mofos. They take a lot of freaking damage. And they have this thing where if you hit them in the head, it's going to do less damage than if you hit them in their arse. And the reason being is because their butt is not protected. But their head is covered in this kind of metal. And even swords don't do a lot of damage against these guys. So I do something different. I got some fire bombs earlier, and I have the black fire bombs. So I'm just going to throw it at them. And this is the mistake I did. You see how careful I am to not go off the cliff. I back up every time. I get my lock on, and then I go. I was a little bit stupid here. I didn't back up enough, and then I fell down. Now, if you get hit by this guy, he can ram you over. And my stupid ass, I left the Drake Sword on, which I didn't use it, and I slow rolled. I didn't roll as fast as I would normally, and that cost me big time. I didn't get the proper roll, the roll I was expecting to use, so it was a bit slower because I have the Drake Sword equipped. And my dumbass didn't realize right away. So I should have unequipped it since I couldn't use it anyways, but I still have it equipped even now. And I figured I'd go get a couple or a couple more souls and actually make myself able to wield the Drake Sword, at least two-handed. And then you guys will see how much damage it does. It's really, really good, especially early on. So yeah, that was my mistake. A bad mistake, a bad choice, but a rookie mistake. And that's the reason why I want the equip load up, is so I'm able to carry more stuff and heavier stuff. Because the Drake Sword, I think, had 6 weight on it, which is a lot compared to the dagger. So there you go. I have enough soul to upgrade my strength twice. So I put it up to, my shield gains a little bit of a bonus. And I'm actually able to dual wield the Drake Sword, and you will see the damage it does. It's no longer a slow strike. I'm able to more or less use it normally, and then I'm just going to go test it out on these guys, and you'll see it took about 5 hits with my dagger. 1 hit, done. So though I may not be able to block with my shield yet, at least until I get 16 strength, so I'm able to just one-hand the Drake Sword, you can still kind of block with it. You'll take damage, but not so much where you actually die. There you go. That's me realizing I was slow rolling, and kind of what I didn't want to do against the boar. So I'm just gonna make my way back up, back through there, and use kind of my Drake Sword as a tool to speed run, more or less, because everything's gonna be a one-shot hit. I just have to run there, not take a hit, hit someone, move on, hit someone else, and so on and so forth. So while I'm here, I just figured, hey, I'll get the 500 XP, or souls, sorry, and keep going. You always want to get as many souls as possible. Even if you die and lose them, you can go back and kind of pick them up. So these guys are way easy. I don't have to worry about them. It will even break a guy's guard if an enemy is kind of shielded. It will definitely break his guard. So that's a good thing to kind of, at least early on when they don't have a lot of poise. So it's a good thing to kind of look at and realize, like, okay, well, this guy's holding up a shield. Well, I can hit him with the Drake Sword. It breaks it, and then I can hit him again and kill him, instead of kind of wasting a little bit of time. So again, these rats, I'm always going to be careful against them. I screwed up there. That could have cost me big time. I did not two-hand the Drake Sword, and I almost got my ass beat because, like I said, a couple hit of these rats, and you get poisoned really easily. But no harm done. I mean, I got out of there with just a minor scratch, literally, and I was able to kind of go through. So look at the difference. I can just pretty much walk through here, 1 hit, keep going, 1 hit, keep going. And it's a lot quicker. Now, I almost missed that guy. I almost didn't see him come, but I was lucky that that he was there, and I saw that he wasn't in any hurry to come get me, so I just figured I'd continue on and move on. Right there, what I was talking about, breaking the guard. I did get hit by an arrow, but again, it's not a big enough damage to really matter. I almost fell off that stupid bridge again, and it could have cost me. I went with the parry because it's always safer to have a shield up in pretty much every case, and knowing that I had to heal soon, I didn't want to die completely because I wanted to be full health to fight the boar, because last time I didn't go full health, though I don't think I would have survived even if I wasn't full health from the hit I took. Like, he pretty much wrecks you if you don't have your shield up, and so I go to use one of these alluring skulls because he's way too far, and my dumbass pressed the right trigger and fell off again instead of pressing X. I hit the fire like an asshole, and then well, you'll see. Let's just say I get my ass kicked again. I thought I would do some damage here with the Drake Sword. He pretty much mule kicks me, and then my slow roll again fucks me over. So this time around, I'm like, all right, I'm taking a different strategy. I just cut right back here. I did the same thing. So I lost my souls again. Second time I lose them, it was just a couple thousand, and I can get those back really easily. If I want to farm at the dragon or whatever, it's not a big deal. But this part, I'm going to play it cautiously, and I'm going to have no problem against it. So that's the thing with Dark Souls. If you're not cautious, you might run into some trouble. So it does pay to be a little bit more cautious than usual, even though it takes longer to defeat an area. If you take a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, you can get through something without even getting hit once. It's all about repetition and kind of memorizing the patterns. So I took off the Drake Sword, I put the bow, and what I'm going to do is use the bow to my advantage. Like I said, it's something I've never really done, but you'll see here right in the butt. So that does 22 damage. He turns around, I hit him in the head, 7 damage. So your sword's going to do the same thing. It's not going to damage as much. So I realized, all right, well, I got to kite him a little bit, use that kind of Black Ops zombie to my advantage to kite the boar a little bit of, towards my way. And I'm going to show you a little trick as well here. So the boar is weak to fire. You saw when I threw the fire bombs, it does a fair amount of damage. I don't want to say a lot. I don't want to say a bit, but 55 damage is pretty damn good compared to even my arrows were doing half of that, even less than half. 32 damage, you saw that? What happened there was he ran in that little fire pit on the right, and if you can make him run through that, he'll pretty much kill himself. So the first time I ever played this game, I discovered that those were actually a good trap to kill him, because if you're not strong enough to just do it with a sword, and maybe you don't have the arrows or the fire bombs, then if you're good at dodging, you can kind of play this game that I'm playing with him, and getting him more or less to walk towards that. You saw my sword did 6 damage there, really not a lot. And I'm being really careful, so 3 damage. If you see the numbers, you realize it's nothing. So I figured I would take another arrow shot to the butt and then completely whiff. But he's almost down. He needs, I think, one more good hit and he would be done, because he's probably got close to 200 HP or so, and I have most of that down as much as possible. So I just go for a hit, and I think one more will do the trick. And I'm really bad with the bow and arrow. I told you guys I don't use it. I've never really touched upon it that much. And he's just gonna run in the fire, I think, and kill himself. No, I actually get the kill. I do the 22 damage somehow, and because I probably get him in the back end. And I was lucky. That yellow thing, he dropped a Fang Boar helmet. You got to be lucky to get those, because it's kind of a rare drop. Well, not so rare, but rare enough that it won't drop every time. Like I think I've done this probably 5 or 6 times. I've only gotten it from this guy twice. So it's more or less of a rare drop. If I would have had some humanity and stuff, I could have gotten it. but since I didn't, it's nice to have. It offers more protection, but it allows me to slow roll, kind of like I did with the Drake Sword. So it's not... I don't know if it's a good trade-off. I'm going to take it for the damage reduction that it does here, because I know I'm fighting a lot of physical enemies. Like these little bastards with their sword swipes. Luckily, I knew there was an ambush, so I kind of backed off there. But yeah, so I mean, the Drake Sword is just great. I'm able to walk through here without really a problem, and these guys they're strong, but again, you want to do one at a time. It saves from getting your ass kicked if you just do the one at a time thing. This could have been worse. That guy could have really gotten me. I forgot about him completely, but I was able to just go through it, no problem. You always want to mind your corners. You always want to kind of take things slow when you go through doorways. Much like if you're playing Call of Duty, when you go through like doorways and hallways and stuff like that, often, or pretty much all of the time, if you can do it, you want to aim down sights and kind of have a quick look, so you're always ready and on target. This is much the same. You kind of want to take things slow when you go around corners and you enter doorways and stuff. It's a lot safer that way, and it will get your ass killed a lot less than if you're just a little bit of a reckless player and you just kind of storm through everything. Even me now, having played the game a few times, I definitely want to be careful as much as possible. Better safe than sorry goes the saying, and it holds true to video games. So, but this is about to wrap up. It's been a lot more of a technical episode. There's been a lot there. If you guys have any questions, leave it in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and comment. And if not, a dislike and comment. And next time we'll traverse the white light and go into heaven or whatever awaits us. It's Dark Souls, so it's probably going to be hell. But thanks for watching, guys. As always, bye.